Ladies and gentlemen, to another incredible interview. This time I'm joined with an absolute legend to really anyone who grew up watching any form of media in the 2000s. Most of my, if not all of my friends, and most adults even know all of this one guy's compositions, right? Truly all of them. And the credit and fame and everything is kind of lost on us, but it's there. He's real, he's alive, and he's with me today. Mr. Kevin MacLeod, it's an honor to have you on the show. I asked you, but I'm asking you again. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going fine. Things are okay. Wow, thanks for that excellent introduction. That's
Thank you.
very nice of you.
Well, yeah, I mean it truly is crazy because my friends will always ask me, who are you interviewing today? Who are you interviewing
Mhm.
this week? And most of the bands I work with tend to be on the smaller side, right? Sometimes I'll get a big break, but usually on the smaller side. And I was telling them about you, and they're like, well, okay, it's another one of those small creators until I play your music and song after song after song after song, like it's everything.
Right.
And then at the end, they're like, okay, wait, there's a little bit more behind the story, you know? So this is one of the questions I've meaning to ask you, right? In your daily life, is this something like, do you get recognized? Do you get the fame that your numbers on Spotify and your numbers on TikTok, which is like a billion or over a billion streams? Do you get that
Uh,
fame, or is that kind of like a low key thing?
it's low key until I play anything that I've written, and they're like, "No, yeah." But yeah, like just going out on the street and getting a burger. No, no, no one cares,
And is
which
that
is
what you intended to?
fantastic.
Yeah. You like that?
No, I mean it's great for if I wanted to be more of a star, I would have tried.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I love that. I really do. I mean, yeah, and the burger example. Yeah. This is another one, right? So
mm.
you have this incredible library of music. Uh, have you ever thought about touring it or playing it for a live audience?
I haven't played for a live audience in a long time, and almost everything I do is nearly unplayable live without just either an enormous amount of tech work on my side or an enormous amount of human beings. And I don't know if I would go see me, honestly. It's not that kind of vibe. It's like, oh, do you want to hear the background music from this thing that you liked? No. How about I go to a band that's known for their energy or known for being good live?
Well,
So yeah, I don't maybe I could do a show at VidCon or something like real specific, but
yeah, I think
yeah,
there's
no
definitely an
plans.
audience for it. Like, VidCon is
Really?
perfect, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know people that study with this music, people that like sleep
Mm.
with this music, people that live it day out, day in. And if there are other creative like ambient creators having concerts, which I think is definitely deserved, why not a background music creator, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, keep it in mind.
Yep. Yep.
Where are you right now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm currently in Ybor City outside of Tampa, Florida.
Oh, Tampa, nice. How's it going down there, huh?
It is the last hurricane was not great, but it's mostly cleaned up.
You think?
The weather's fantastic as always. Yeah, and it's a lively place to be.
Nice, nice. We were in Florida for my mom's pediatric conference, and I convinced them to let me go see a King Crimson like reincarnation almost called Beat,
Mhm.
and it was crazy. Like during the hurricane storms coming in, we were running in. Anyways, do you think that Tampa, like the beautiful beaches, the
Mhm.
beautiful serene, I would say, landscape,
Mhm.
influences your creative output?
That is exactly not where I am. I am not near a beach, and I do not go to the beaches. I live in like a downtown area, which is closer to a New York vibe
Huh.
than relaxed beach vibe. A lot of clubs in the area, a lot of live music, a lot of live music. That's why I'm here.
So you think that that inspires you to get more stuff out there?
Oh yeah, because when I hear people actually play music, I'm like, well, I'm behind. Why, why don't I get there and finish that thing I've been working on for the last week and a half? Yeah,
That
it's
that
really motivating.
beautiful to hear. And when you're creating music, you need what cover art, right? What
Yeah.
is your opinion on AI in the use of cover art and the use of just creating music in general?
Okay. For the longest time, I had to make my own cover art, and it was demonstrably bad. And then there was a website that came out that offered public domain images, Pixabay, I believe. I'm like, oh my God, it just got a lot easier. So if I want a picture of a piano, just type in piano and okay, here's four options. Pick one, throw its title on it, and they look not good, but better. And now with the AI, you can just type in piano, like in the kind of like jazz club setting that you want. It's like one of the four, pick it, great. I'm not a person who thinks that like the package has anything to do with the product inside. It's indicative of it, but the packaging isn't the product. So whatever makes you be able to get things out faster, do it. And faster and better and
Mm.
cheaper. But yeah, I mean that just seems like wins.
So have you used AI in your art then?
Oh, absolutely. I've had songs that have used AI published like 3 years ago already. Back when Google Magenta came out with their tone transfer, I use that. I use it to split stems. I use it, there's all sorts of uses for it.
That is super interesting. And I think I agree if it's like help aiding human art, because I talked to another artist, Eugene Robinson, who's a journalist and an artist in a load of different brands. And he was talking about how, years ago he would, kind of hate AI or talk bad on AI. And
Yeah.
now it's kind of this daily use and this daily reminder that music changes and tech changes, people change, and you kind of have to adapt with that, that kind of stuck with me. That's really interesting.
Oh man, remember what it was like to create music before computers? Of course you don't. I do. It wasn't great. It was real slow.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Like, and in this day and age, when people can like synthesize the amps on their computers and synthesize the guitar
yeah.
tones on the computers and the pedals, it really is crazy to me because for my generation, right? Do you really want to be spending like hundreds of dollars on an amp and then $100 each on each pedal, if not more,
Yeah.
and then thousands of dollars on guitars? It adds up really quick.
And now you have to carry everything.
Yeah. And
Like,
transportation.
oh man.
Or I can spend $10 a month and get a easy plugin on my computer that has everything for me.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah,
pretty
no, it's getting
incredible.
it's getting better. And there's gonna be way new ways of making music coming out in the next few years, which I'm excited about.
What do you think are some of those ways?
Like if you just want an instant backup band, it's like, hey, listen, play along. Yeah, drummer, I want you to be in this style. I want this kind of bass playing. And here's the rough chords, but follow me. Because they're gonna be the best backup band in the world. Millisecond tuning adjustments, like you won't be able to throw them off. That's one example.
Yeah, I
And
totally see
now
that.
now there's a lot of people who are playing live at bars and festivals and stuff like that, as single person deal. Well,
Mhm.
you still need to be there. You still need to have that person in the space playing the music. But then you could just have the best backup band in the world instead of, well, I mean, not to say that your loop pedal work is probably amazing, right? In order to make it sound good, and you've got your drum machine set up, but when that's going to be just like, full AI that you can customize to your sound, and it's just going to listen and play along with you. Why not?
And yeah, loop pedal work is also extremely hard. Like, I don't think the audience realizes I've spent countless hours trying to get those loops perfect, and I can't. I
Yeah.
still can't. Like, if it's a millisecond off, your whole thing is ruined. It's all ruined.
Well, I mean, we should be able to fix that really quick right now if just a little bit of editing and behind the scenes, snippy snip.
And that brings me to another question. One of my favorite parts of seeing music live is kind of the screw ups, you know? Seeing
Mhm.
I saw a punk band recently, one that I interviewed a long time ago, and I've been waiting to get pushed around in a pit with, and their guitarist string broke
Yeah.
mid-song, and seeing them adapt and change, and then him playing like an octave down and playing a different
Mm.
key and just messing around, you know?
Yeah.
That is kind of that part of the experience. And hearing the drummers screw up and hearing the
Mhm.
bassist like improvise. That's all
Yeah.
part of it for me. Do you think AI will be able to replicate those screw ups as well as humans, or do you think that is a component lost in time?
If you can describe it, it can do it. Of course, it'll do that. And you can just say, "Oh, I want it to be really spicy tonight. I want so many things to go wrong. I want the bass player to make the drummer laugh so hard he misses his entrance. I want, sure. Why?
It truly
It's
is
it's
incredible.
it's going to be more about the storytelling and the energy going forward, and not about the tech, because everyone's just going to have infinite tech.
Extremely interesting. I agree. I think that is, and already in 2024, if you've been keeping up with the releases, the storytelling is getting incredible to the
Yeah.
point where it's like full on poems and essays in music form. And
Yeah.
it's really beautiful to see. Have you been paying attention to the releases?
What really? Probably not.
No? Well, then I'll ask you this. What are your favorite albums that are sort of recent then?
I I don't listen to people singing very often. I'm an instrumental music guy. I kind of always have been. I'm really bad at setting text. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to go. I'm not in that world. I don't know.
So do you listen to
So
ambient?
um, I listen to whatever's on in the background of the YouTube documentary series I'm listening to.
So your
I'm
music.
listening to whatever sometimes, yes. I'm listening to whatever's outside the front door. What's the band playing down there? Who's at Crowbar?
Oh yeah, forget. Wait, Crowbar's in Tampa, right?
Yeah, it's a couple blocks from here.
That's awesome. I've watched a couple of documentaries on the
Hmm.
legendary, crazy stuff that's happened in Crowbar.
Bring
One
your
day.
earplugs. It is loud there. So
Do you know the band Swans?
I do not.
Speaking of earplugs, I'm gonna give you a homework assignment. Swans are by far the loudest band in the history of bands.
Okay.
Now they are in their 70s and they still regularly play at 130, 140 decibels. I
Okay.
saw them. I was lucky to see them, and it is like a earth-shattering experience. It is much like instrumental music in the sense that there are a couple lyrics here and there,
Hmm.
but it is kind of instrumentalism and dynamics. And this is the only
Yeah.
band I have found that like dynamics is it. And their like waves of music is so impressive and calculated and incredible. That is my homework assignment for you because they are amazing.
Very cool.
And then speaking of right lyrics, live music, sound,
Mhm.
what is stopping you, I guess, from making you know pieces with lyrics or pieces with singers? Is that just something that's not you're not in it?
That's like when you're doing storytelling, when you're crafting like feelings with music, I almost never like I kind of hate that. It's like, well, if I write lyrics to this, the only people who can really get it are people who speak English. And that seems unnecessarily limiting sometimes. I mean, the
Uh-huh.
AI is I'm sure, gonna have excellent trans. You can have anything you want in any language you want, it'll be fine. Um, and yeah, like getting words and music to say the same thing consistently is I'm just not really good at it. Maybe my standards are too high, but given the few pieces of music that I have written with words, No, they're not high. I'm just not good. Uh,
So then how would you convey extra emotion and feeling if there is a lack of words?
right. Yes. Correct.
Is there like a is there a or is there a formula, I guess, to creating these pieces of music, or is it
Yeah.
like I sit
Uh,
down, I'm just feeling something?
there's I've done a nah, I don't recommend that. Normally you have it's like, okay, here is the video you need to score. Here's what the director says. This is what the audience needs to feel about this character and about this character. And you go, okay.
I love that so
Um,
much.
so once you can sort of like smack over the top of the people you're not supposed to like, and you give the person you're supposed to like a lot of clear room in that range, and you can poke at people in different ways to make the story go do the thing that it's supposed to do.
So then does music still feel like an art to you, or in this day and age does it feel more like a job?
I don't even know what either of those words mean.
Which
Like
is a good sign.
it's what I do. It's what I've always done. Like, is it a job? I guess. Is it art? Yes.
Well, the best jobs are the ones where you can't really tell. So
Yeah, right.
I aspire to
It's
be where
what
you're
I'm
at.
doing. Like, is somebody actually like paying me per hour? No. So I guess it's not a job.
Okay. There we go. The internet can finally be settled.
It's not a job. It's
And then
yeah.
of your not a job,
Mhm.
what are some of your favorite projects? Because you've worked with the ISS, you worked with countless video games, worked with
Mhm.
countless, more than countless, not even recognizable number of YouTube videos, you know?
Right.
What maybe like a top three? What are your top three most favorite, best to work with, most recognizable projects?
The it works a little weirder with me. The YouTube, like nobody on YouTube, well, very few people say, "Hey, I love your stuff. Can you write music for my channel?"
Mhm.
That takes too much work. Can you go to my website and find something? Then they're just going to use it. So my music has been used everywhere, and I've never talked to anyone. They just come, take it, and go. So there's
Mhm.
no collaboration, there's no thing there. There's just I did a thing before, and they have the thing now. And I have this beautiful distribution method, and everyone's happy.
So then have you been commissioned? You have been commissioned though, right?
Yeah, early on, all like before YouTube, all of my money came from working for other people on doing projects.
So then what are your favorite commissions? Or is it just, again, like I said, a blur?
I wouldn't. I mean, there's ones that had like big problems, and somebody still owes me like $40,000 from a thing I did at the early 2000s. I don't know.
I'll
Like,
keep
there's
you getting
what you
that.
do with the commissions. It's a lot of business stuff, and then I'm like, you know what? What if I just never did that again? What if I just get rid of all the, I mean, it gives me credibility working with these people and, give them a great product, hopefully, but too much problems.
Yeah, I get that for sure. It's that reliance on other people when they may not be the best people can sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, that has totally happened. For me, it's with just people in the music industry can sometimes be jerks and like extremely annoying people. I'm a motivated person, right? Where I will send emails to
Yep.
everyone and I will like follow up in like a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. And I will try as much as I can to get a response. And sometimes that can get on their nerves because they're working behind the scenes without like responding to me. And the music industry is so flawed in that way where it's funny, right? People that are getting paid to communicate with you can't communicate. And that irks me a little bit sometimes where I'm working with, the biggest record label in the United States, trying to figure out this one interview that we've been trying to do for so long, and they can't get a hold of band or they can't get a hold of the manager or they can't get a hold of
Yep.
anyone. It's like, oh my gosh, it can't be that hard.
I bet you it is.
Oh, I know, but it's that bubble. Like we're
Yeah.
all in our little bubbles. Sometimes I wish we could get in one big bubble, you know? Would you mind detailing me some of the problems that can arise from making new music?
Um, no. What are the problems?
Well, that's a good answer right there.
I You could just make new music. There's plenty of songs that have not been written. There's plenty of lines that have not been done. If you want to make something new, great. If you want to do something that's been down before, great. Make music.
I love that. That needs to be a shirt right
Problems.
there. And that gave me an idea bubble right there. I know you've heard of like the lawsuits and people suing each other over similarities in music. Do you think that
Hmm.
is pretty barbaric, or is that justified in your mind?
I no, and Mike, no, it is not good. It is not good. It's like, oh, this sounds like something else. It's like, yeah, well, no kidding. If it sounded completely new, no one would listen to it. Like things work for a reason, and we've refined it over hundreds of years and sucked in thousands of cultures and traditions, and we've taken the cool parts and left the crappy parts, and music's great. And the fact that you can convince a jury that, everything is a specific owned thing, you, that's that's horrifying. And it stops innovation. It's doing the exact opposite of what copyright was supposed to do. But copyright wasn't supposed to ever work on music. That wasn't until what, 1972 that the concept of a melody could be copyrighted. I mean, that was a while ago, but it wasn't like the early days of the country, and we're still expanding westward, and it's like, well, you got I'm afraid that harmonica lick is a little copyrighted, so you tone down on that. So these copyrights have gotten longer, they've gotten crazier, and they're starting to cover more things, and that just means more lawsuits for really no good reason. And the thing that makes me sad is if the people, it's not usually the people who made the original music that are suing them. It's like
Yeah.
the kids of those people because they don't understand how much their father, their mother stole from everybody else. They think it just happened. So they don't have the concept of like, oh, and then of course a lawyer is going to try to get his up on it. But I mean, even copyright lawyers are kind of generalists, but
Yeah.
oh, that is a painful thing that we're going through. And hopefully the music created with AI will be uncopyrightable because there's no human that made it. So as we get more and more hits that come out, the copyright system will hopefully, I don't think we'll ever get rid of it legislatively. It'll just fade into the background and die, and nobody will have ever cared about it in like 150 years. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. It's scary to think that musicians have to live in fear because
yeah.
their song may sound like this one pop song that came out in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't matter. There should be that shouldn't matter at all. If
Right.
it's inspiration, it's inspiration, and everything's inspiration. So why can a small artist have to pay out millions of dollars to an already rich artist
Yeah.
because of this one lick? And I love jazz. I love the jazz stuff where it's like jazz licks are constantly used and reused and evolved, and you
Yeah.
don't see people like crying over each other. Like
Yeah.
Miles Davis is not crying because his lick got stolen. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we should. like you said with the copyright system, if there's a way to bring those jazz ethics
Mhm.
into mainstream media and music, where it's not all about the money. Sometimes it's about the feeling, and it's about just playing with your friends and learning from your friends and learning from people across the seas and seeing what's around and what's happening, you know? That's kind
Mhm.
of that is the goal. And I
I
think you're
think
doing
you're
that with
right.
your music, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's and really everyone. There's no reason not to. You can just do that, and people can use your stuff. Not everyone's music is useful for everything, but it's useful for something. Otherwise, people wouldn't have listened to it in the first place. Okay, I got to edit that out. Don't worry, we'll still fine. But yeah, you can, if you're a band that's getting going, why not put out everything for Creative Commons?
Exactly.
People will still buy your record.
I don't think
People,
that'll, there's a very specific market of people that buy records anyways, you know? Like you have to
right?
be a real nerd to get records. I only get records of the albums that I really love. So you
Right,
know that it's good, you know?
right.
And that's another space. I love the vinyl nerd area where everyone is
Mm.
so niche and everyone gets all the little it's like car people,
Yeah,
you know? Where everyone
yeah,
knows the Porsches and everyone knows the Civics and the Priuses and everyone knows everything. And that's so fun that
yeah.
there's a little bit of an audience, a free space, which is like
Nice.
commons, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not playing. Saw something in your background.
Yeah.
And that'll bring me to another question.
Hmm.
What is your final goal or final impact you want to make with this extensive library of music you've created over the years?
The final goal is really just keep it free forever. Um, Try not to get into the controversies. I don't want a controversies section on my Wikipedia page. Um, because my stuff is in so many media, like we don't want anything going wrong there. Um, and just fade away whilst our AI overlords take over and make my life very, very fun.
I love that so much. I truly do. And we have to make sure that your music is protected and all of the commons music is protected, you know?
Mm.
Because what would happen if someone does copyright that and then all that, like
Oh, that happens.
thousands
Every-
or millions, billions of videos gone?
Yep, yep. No,
That'd be catastrophic.
things like that happen at least twice a month,
That's
where
scary.
somebody will like get onto YouTube, say, click the thing and say, yes, I own all the content in this stuff, and then it somehow didn't match, but then it does match later, and then we got to go through and like unwind all that stuff. Um, it's yeah, Instagram often says that my music is copyrighted and unusable. It's like, what do you, I don't, can I get a hold of someone here? No, it's literally,
The whole point
but
is for it not to be copyrighted.
right. But they've got deals with like Warner and Universal and not me. So
Yeah, they need to make it easier for the content creators in general. Like
yeah.
I know YouTube, a lot of people get strikes, and if you get three strikes, you're out. It's gone. You're done,
Yeah.
which is terrifying for people like me that are just getting started. And we may have clips of music here and there that it should be free use, you know?
So uh, strikes are not claims.
Uh-huh.
You can get a claim on a thing, and it just means like you don't make as much money from the video. Strikes are like, I don't know, streaming an NBA basketball game on my YouTube streaming account. Yeah, you're gonna get pulled for that, you know.
That's hilarious. I feel like people do that too, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. I just thought of this.
Hmm.
You know, I'm a teenager, right? I will, it's in the name. We pirate music almost every day. At my school, all the websites are blocked except for a YouTube to MP3 converter. So I've got about, I don't want, I think maybe thousand songs that are
Yeah.
just ripped. I do it every day. I just whatever I want to listen to, I rip that. Do you think that is harmful to the music industry? Same with like ripping TV shows or movies.
Do I think so?
Yeah.
No. Would they think so? Yes. Because like the more copies of the stuff that you have out in the world, the greater the chance that new people are going to find it.
Mhm.
Um, and they want to limit the number of copies in the world, even though it doesn't cost them any money. Like there used to be a time where if you wanted your music in all the libraries in the country, you had to produce a lot of media and it was expensive and you had to send it out and okay, now you're distributed. And if you can get people to actually pay for it, that's great. But how could more people knowing about you make you less popular? As I think the question that you're asking with
Yeah.
piracy. How does more people taking the thing as opposed to paying you for it make you less money? Well, this one I can see now. If your goal is money, yes, you should stop that. If your goal is anything else, you should distribute as widely as possible. I mean, you made the music for a reason, right? And if you just made the music to make money, great, keep it. If you made the music because the music needed to be made, get it out there. You can't
I
leave it on your hard drive. Um,
totally agree. I complete 100% agree. And this website's like the Internet Archive. When that
yeah.
went down, I started panicking so much. It got DDoS. I was
Okay.
freaking out. That is my that's my space. That's my jam. For that to go down is catastrophic for again thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of musicians who post on there and archive
Yeah.
stuff on there. It's scary, but it's that disconnect between the music industry and the musicians, I think is widening. And thankfully, I love it when I see like good publicists out there. When I meet
Okay.
someone that is genuinely like interested in working no matter what and is interested in trying to make this happen, at least to get my name out there and to make sure the managers know who I am and just to see, I love that. And the people that are kind of setting these barriers for music journalism, I've talked about this before. I hate it. Like I hate it. And of course I hate it because I'm not getting the interview. But I think
Right.
that why does it matter if the artist has 40 minutes of time and they're not doing anything with it and it's a free
Yeah.
interview spot and no one's asked for it. Why not give it to
Okay.
an artist or an interviewer that has a smaller audience that can help them out rather than, holding out for CBS to get a hold for an interview?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Do you think that there is a solution and a way to fix the music industry, like an uprising of the musicians to make you CEO?
If
Or is it a
if you're the kind of person who loves giving interviews, you will get the interview. We- If you're the kind of person who does not like getting giving interviews, they're just gonna do everything. So I think you're just dealing with individual personalities,
Mhm.
and if you're like, oh, it's like, well, the music company should be able to make them dance like a monkey and do lots of interviews because I'm interested in music journalism.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, they don't wanna.
yeah.
Too busy doing the thing than trying to talk about doing the thing. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think you could fix that.
Yeah, maybe I came off as a little bit, but I understand. I get it. It's just, it's frustrating and selfish, but selfishness is in the human nature.
I
And
mean,
there
there's
are,
people who won't take interviews with CBS too, or the BBC. They're like, nope.
which is also crazy. But I mean, I get it. If you're trying to preserve
Yeah.
your music, then that's what you do. That's what it is.
Or if you're
I
really
think I
bad at
respect it.
it, yeah.
Oh yeah, you are a great person to great person to interview. There are some artists where they'll give like a one sentence answer, and that makes my job a lot harder because I have to write down more questions, some of which suck. And then it's a sucky interview. And then it just
Yeah,
sucks in
maybe.
general.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful that you are the personality the way you are, you know? I
Oh,
really
well,
do
thank
appreciate
you.
that. And we're getting to the end of our interview. This has been a talk a lot on corporations and stuff. So Zoom is one of those corporations where they make you pay for longer videos, and I'm not making money. So I will not be paying anytime soon. But it has been an absolute honor speaking to you.
All
I
right.
loved this conversation. I can't wait to tell all my friends that I spoke to you and you are
Yeah.
real and you're a real person, not some machine. And
Not yet, but fingers crossed.
one day,
One day we can
right?
hope.
But
Absolutely.
I loved it. If I'm ever in Tampa, gotta meet up. It's
Absolutely.
been,
Hang outside a crowbar. That'd be great.
yes, I would love that. So you have a great rest of your day. I
All right.
hope you get turned into a machine or an
Yep.
AI or whatever. And yeah, see you around.
All right. Cheers.